Jumbo. Habari. Do y'all remember from last week? Yes, I'm saying hello. How are you in Swahili? I am so happy to be with y'all again. Thank you for joining me. I want to just jump right in because I think it would just be just a great use of time we have to be together. And before I do that, I hope you really are enjoying the picks. And this is the second set of picks, and I have one more set, and that will end the picture time, and we'll begin really talking about some concrete matters and having my guests start to flow in. So always, remember to like our Facebook page, Healing Overflow with Dr. Toy. Email me at drtoyjones@gmail.com. Follow me on Twitter, Prof. Toya Jones, and like our page, WXCM Power Radio. Thanks, y'all. Okay, we're just jumping right in. Listen, I have to tell you, so from Uganda, we drove over the Kenyan border, and that was the craziest situation. I was like, what is this? And I definitely felt like I was in another country. We got to shake down so many times. I didn't know how corrupt police and military were. That was my experience. So if you experienced something different when you drove across Uganda, when you drove across the Kenyan border, please let me know. Put it in chat. I everything that I'm saying is all anecdotal evidence, but let me tell you, my experience, it was frightening. We got pulled over several times. Our driver was asked to get out. They shook him down for 20,000 shillings, 30,000 shillings. It just depends on, who was pulling him over. And so police officer, military pulled him over and said that we were taking pictures of the bridge. We were not. And then police officer pulled him over and said, you shouldn't have been pulled over down there. And he said, but the military pulled me over. He was like, well, I'm a police officer, and made him pay more money. Weird stuff like that. Paying people to, take us across the border, having to get out of the vehicle and scanning our bags. And it was just very interesting. So, and scary. They all had, assault rifles and stuff. So I didn't enjoy that, but we all got away safely. I am going to talk next session about a trauma therapist that I talked with, and said that there are definitely occurrences where police officers will kill, folks, Kenyans, at a traffic stop, if they don't have the money to give them. And so I was definitely praying the whole time, y'all. So I want to talk about this second set of questions. I'm so used to saying that in classroom. The second set of pictures, because we visited so many universities. And what I found impressive was that between Uganda universities and universities in Nairobi, they were very educated, very on point. Africans are very interested in our curriculum and how we do things in America, when we were very interested in their traditional approaches to teaching. Were they, looking at decolonizing their curriculum, or were they looking at, keeping with the colonial and the British approaches when they were colonized? And so it was really interesting, because as Black Americans, we're like, no thanks, we don't want anything to do with colonizers. And they're like, yes, please, welcome, what you're doing. And I teach CBT at Pitt, and trauma classes, things like that. So they're just interested in our approach in CBT, and I was interested in the traditional African heritage and incorporating that in our curriculum. And so we're going to have some teaching exchanges where we're able to do that. But I wanted to keep telling them, what y'all doing is the way to go. And so that was really interesting conversations, that we had with each university. They were so welcoming. As you see, that we ate everywhere we went. They were giving us food, and I was tired of eating it, but they were so welcoming. They always say, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. They said that a lot. And everyone needs to sit down and be comfortable, in their space. So I had an opportunity also to meet burn victims. I really appreciated the burn victim stories. because they were so, um, their outward appearance, and you will see the pictures, their outward appearance was shocking, when you saw them, but their heart seemed to have gone through a pretty progressive healing. And when I thought about, like, if someone threw acid in my face, so folks ask me, like, why did they throw acid? And so the reason they threw acid was a lot of domestic violence situations, or business partners wanting the other person to get out of the business situation. And they would pay someone to ride, past you on a Bora Bora, which is like a little motorcycle. They have tons of them there. You'll see pictures of that, and throw acid in their face. And acid, they said, continues to burn and continues to find water and life source in the face. It continues to burn your face. I'm so sorry to say that, y'all. I should have did a trigger warning. And it was difficult to listen to them, but not as difficult as one would think. And maybe because I'm a trauma therapist, but I was listening to them, hearing that healing took place in their heart, and trying to figure out how they did that. And I even asked, like, how did you get to the point where you're able to come and speak to us without being so bitter and angry? I'm going to tell y'all right now, I'll be looking for the people. That would be my full-time job. I'm going to find you. You're going to be all assed up. Like, you know what I mean? So, and I know I got some of y'all out there talking about amen, sister. So it was very interesting. But the people of Uganda in particular are very solid on faith. And they really just look to their faith and look to God to help heal their hearts and to be able to move on. Mama Victoria, you'll see in some of the pictures, as we were so welcome there. She runs a microloan program, and she gives these acid survivors microloans. And so it might be like, 50,000 shillings, which is like maybe, I'm horrible at converting, but I think it kind of ended up being like $50 or something like that. But that's big money there. And they were able to use it to start up their businesses. So imagine, every corner, everywhere you go, Africans are owning their own business. Hair, clothes, shoes, backpacks, coats, Bora Boras, everybody's owning a business. And so the women in the picture, these two women that I met that day, one owned the restaurant, and you'll see a picture of us cramped in a little teeny restaurant, but I heard her food was thebomb.com. And then there's another, and there's a little short video if you press on it, and she's making a basket. And she taught us how to make a basket. She says, took about 3 days to make. And of course, we bought up all the baskets, others that you won't see pictures of, they were carving out of wood. And I brought some things like that back, and just really beautiful talent and beautiful artistry. They use the microloan to start their business, and they really are able to sustain, financially their family through these microloans, and they pay it back, and then they're able to borrow more, and then they pay that back and are able to borrow more. And so their businesses are sustaining them. And as a therapist, I said, you're finding purpose. And now I have a plan. There's a plan for me, and there's a purpose. And so now I'm able to give back to my community. I'm able to get out and work, and not, a lot of the burn victims would stay isolated and away from people because people would shun them. And now they have a level of confidence where they're able to, to build their business. And I understood how their healing came about. Like, whoa, that's how their healing came about. So that I was blown away by that. We also went to Bright Kids Uganda. That was an island. Oh, that was so beautiful. Oh, it was so beautiful. Y'all, pineapples grow from the ground. Share with me if you knew that. I thought they grew from the tree. I gotta talk to it. Obviously not in pineappleology, because I had no clue. And I was shocked. And that's why I took a picture of a pineapple growing from the ground. I was like a kid. But the Bright Kids Uganda, they're orphans. And they were so beautiful. I took as many pictures of them that they would allow me to take. They were beautiful. They were welcoming. They were talented. They were smart as crap. They did dances and singing for us. I love them. I really wanted to just start putting them in my purse. Like, could you please live with me? I love them. And so Yeah, one of the students of Bright Kids Uganda, because it's a school and it's where they stay, climbed the tree for us and cut down those huge avocados that you see. They were delicious. They were delicious. And so we ate them. We also had an opportunity to hike up this hill, and you'll see me looking very, very triumphant because I climbed up that hill. Ooh, it was Inhaler City. It was high, but climbing up the hill, we were able to see all of Uganda and the countryside. It was beautiful. It was sunny. It was hot. So we were able to see that. We were able to see two men making bricks. That's all that red clay that you see in the pictures. They were making bricks. It's a small video too. Click on it. That was amazing to me. But Mama Victoria is such a businesswoman. She has them making bricks. She pays them instead of paying for bricks off the island and getting it boated and shipped on there. Like, she's the brilliant. I was like, God, teach them business classes. Let me see. What else did I do? Okay, so we went to the mosque, which was beautiful. My colleague, you'll see her skirt was too short. I laughed at her, so they had to wrap material around. My skirt was fine. I was Muslim ready, y'all. I bought earrings. I'm an earring junkie. I bought earrings everywhere. Earrings, and more earrings. I keep wearing all the earrings every time I record, so y'all get to see them, but I probably can't wear them all. So we went there, and that was beautiful, and we were able to see all of Kampala that day. I know I'm going back and forth because the border to Kenya, and now I'm talking about Uganda, but just follow me. We went to psych hospitals. I love talking to therapists from other countries. That was amazing. And just to hear about, like, how do you address trauma? What's your approach to talking to your victim, to your clients? What type of mental health do they struggle with? And so the way they do social work and mental health is definitely similar to what we do in America, but definitely some differences in their approach because it's natural to them as Africans. So they naturally make connections with their people. They naturally join someone. Like I talked about the burn victims, they join someone else that has been through that to join with her and talk with her and get her to trust and warm up before they allow any type of social worker to come in. Those that are addicted, and a lot of their addiction was like marijuana, and anyone like that, they build relationship first and help them to feel comfortable. And that's something that I know as a professor at Pitt, I have to teach my students, particularly the white folk, and they are very receptive to that. But it's something in Africa that they just don't have to teach. It's something that comes naturally in culture. And that's what I was trying to help them understand. Like, y'all got a gold mine, You'll see in the psych hospital we visit, they dyed the chickens pink because big birds, they kept calling them big birds. And I think they might've been like hawks or eagles or something. Will come down to eat the chickens. But if they're pink, they don't think they're chickens. So they leave them alone. The most hilarious story I ever heard. And they chopped down sugar cane for us. So there's pictures of me having sugar cane, and then we ate the sugar cane. It was delicious. We went to a farm. Everything's Black owned because everybody's Black. It was just wonderful. This farm was just adorable, all the animals. And the farm helps to really just feed the community. It was wonderful. It was so much fun. And all the beautiful children. It was wonderful. Let me see. Oh, I had tummy aches. And this lemongrass tea was the best thing I ever had. Lemongrass and honey and ginger. It was delicious. Delicious. I'm searching for it here. It was so amazing. They put like real lemongrass. Like I could see like the lemongrass in there and ginger. It was so fresh and pure and delicious, and it kicked my stomach. Like it made my stomach feel so much better. So those are all those personal stories there. But I wanted to talk to y'all about just the counseling and their approaches. And in particular, they had a lot of Western approaches to counseling. And going back to indigenous ways and decolonizing the counseling approaches was not on everyone's radar. Now, there were universities that said, definitely we would like that approach. And others said, no, the way we're doing it is great. And please share with us what you do. So I can't clump them all into one. Like I said, I was very hungry and eager to hear about how they approach social work and what their social work problems were. And a lot of what their social work problems were was poverty. So they don't have racism and colorism like we do. They have classism. And so people who are economically more stable are treated better, and they're put, socially on a higher pedestal. And, those that are living in poverty, that's where the social workers were really focusing in and coming in on. They're using traditional language and culture and family and core values and their approaches in that aspect. They naturally do that. And that's something that I know that we, as professors, we have to incorporate that in our teaching. It's not something that just comes natural. And so I was in awe of the fact that it came natural, and they were just kind of like, yeah, that's what we do. So we got to visit medical areas like pediatricians. This pediatrician, this Black African. So now I'm talking about Kenya and the University of Moi University. I'm like the smartest professors, the smartest doctors. I'm sitting around the table, from the president of the university. I was at the table like, yes, I'm at this table. They're like, yes, professor. And I was like, yes, professor. Like, it was very cool. It was very cool. I felt very blessed to hear about, like, they have a legal department in their medical department. And there's so much opportunity for my students to learn, different situations with the AIDS still there. COVID hit them hard. Although they had very little numbers when we were there. So coming back to our high numbers, I had to roll my eyes at America. But they have social workers there that work in the hospitals, in the law office, and they have a social work department. And so that was really amazing just to see so much at Moore University. Shout out to Moore University and Victor. Y'all treated us so well, so well. And so, yeah, that I think I'll bring to a close. I love the fact that I was able to see social workers in another continent and in another country, and they look just like me. Until I opened my mouth, they didn't know who I was, and I thought that was very cool. But had an opportunity to really get some great relationships and to talk further once I was back in the United States. And so I can't wait to share more with y'all. So next session, I'm going to share with you, y'all, the safari. The safari. I got pictures of every animal, little small videos you'll have to click on. So the safari, and I'll end with just talking about trauma and just some of the trauma that they encounter, a little different than our trauma. And I can't wait to actually share that with you. And then you get an opportunity to meet some of my African friends in the next guest to come as soon as we can get our schedules to align. So thank y'all for tuning in. Tune in next time when I tell you about the Kokorik Lounge in Kenya, the Maasai Mara Safari, meeting all Maasai folks. That was just a tremendous experience, and talking about, trauma, a little bit more about trauma in Africa and how it's approached. Thank y'all so much for joining me. Put your comments. If you've visited Africa, if you want to visit Africa, what are some questions that you have? I hope I can answer them for you from my trip. I was there a long time, couple weeks. Shout out to Reverend Cornell Jones, for holding it down. He's a wonderful father and husband. So thank you so much for holding it down while I was gone and believing in your wife and knowing that I was on a mission professionally, spiritually, and healing wise. God's called me to be a healer, and that's what I will continue to do on this continent and the next continent. What? Thank y'all. Be blessed. Keep on healing until it overflows on others. I love y'all. Be blessed. Bye-bye.